The next time you go on a job interview, be prepared, because the second you walk out the door, your potential employer will Google you. It could make the difference between getting hired or not. And it doesn't stop there. Think about dating, getting into college, applying for a loan. You name it, it's a growing trend. Stuff that's written about you, whether positive or negative, is there for everyone to see. Don't I know it? Michael Fertig makes his living protecting people's reputations on the internet as the CEO of Reputation Defender. He's here with tips on how to clear your name on the net. Okay, Michael, a new study shows that more than half of all job recruiters use search engines to research job applicants. That's scary, given that any nut with a computer can put you on full blast monkey, if you know what I mean.
They can. It's actually more scary because, as you say, between a third and 70% of employers are researching you when you apply for a job. And of those, more than half are admitting to denying jobs based on what they find.
And that's just based on, I mean, if you think about it, who's looking at it? I mean, I saw your list, and I know job recruiters are looking at it.
Job recruiters, college admissions officers, potential dates. I'm 29. At my age, it's malpractice not to go on a first or second date without Googling somebody else. On Monday, the National Academy of Sciences published a report produced by serious scientists who confirmed that decision-making is influenced more by gossip and rumor than by observable fact.
Okay, so I might as well just go put my head in the sand right now. You actually have described the internet to a tattoo parlor. Explain that to me.
The internet has become a tattoo parlor, but there's a difference, because I can tattoo you and you can tattoo me from miles away, thousands of miles away.
And it doesn't matter, because, you know, the New York Times.
That's right.
If there's a 5-page article in the New York Times.
That's right.
But there's a 5-page gossip or blog or whatever. 5 pages is still 5 pages in the world of the internet.
In fact, you're right. And in fact, the search engines are set up in such a way. Remember, Google is not the First Amendment. It's not the truth. It's a machine that's been set up by humans to prefer certain content to others. And Google and other search engines are set up to prefer new media to old media on the mean. So if you've been attacked on a blog, but there's some nice article about you being a responsible civic citizen in your local paper, the blog will show up first.
Oh, that is just really, really dead. I mean, it's such a common problem. You actually started a company, as I said to our audience, where people pay to hide or bury negative things about them on the internet. How does it work?
So the first thing we do is we find everything about you on the web. It costs $10 a month. And we do a search not only of the open web that you can find on Google, but of the deep internet, the web that is hidden or not indexed or searched by Google. So we find all the content about you or about your child. And then if you don't like something we find, for $30 per item, we'll seek to take it down. If there's a really big problem, if you got a bigger problem, if you're a famous person, for example, it can cost a lot more. But if you're average
person, you say a lot more, how much you talking?
Between $10,000 and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not.
So you could have a Ferrari, or you can take that stuff down about you.
That's right. And it's worth it because, at least for some people, it's worth it because if you're a company or a CEO or someone, it can just cut in half your whole career prospects. It can cut in half your job prospects. This is very serious business.
Give me some examples, some concrete examples. Like, I understand there was a student that you know of in particular who got in trouble.
Okay, so one of our customers was a regular customer, not a high-end customer, just $10 a month. She's a young woman who's extremely well qualified in the law. She graduated from a top college. She is at a top law school. And someone, or some person in her class, or someone she doesn't know, it's not yet clear who, took it upon himself or themselves to go and talk about her very aggressively in a sexual way, talk about her LSAT scores, claim that she had venereal diseases, and then, worst of all, impersonated her as having responded to all these terrible allegations. And I'll say, I do this for a living, Star, and I was fooled. I went on the website and I said, you know what, so-and-so, I was sympathetic with you until I saw that you responded. And she said, Michael, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. So totally devastating kind of impact. She applied for law firm jobs at top law firms.
And they put her name in there, and they go, ooh, she got a little skank to her. I'm not going to pick her.
A little skank, and she knew that they had looked her up on Google because they asked her questions about things that showed up on Google below these attack comments that were not on her resume. So she discovered that so many of us do, that your resume is now the top 10 things that show up on Google, not the piece of paper you send into the employer. And she didn't get any job.
That's
top law school in the country, one of the top law schools. She didn't get any job.
And under normal circumstances, she'd be so heavily recruited
Forget it.
that
I
she'd
mean,
have lots of job opportunities.
Super desirable, very high grades. This is very typical. It's typical in dating life, in employment life, in corporate life. People who are...
I heard in my business also there was a story of a producer.
There is, although
Okay.
it's not my customer. That's right.
Okay, I actually had that note there about the producer who took some provocative photographs, because you do deal in photographs also.
Also, yep.
And the staff Googled her name and basically circled the photographs. How do you deal with photographs that you have posted on, like your MySpace or your Facebook?
So think about that for a second. So this is a producer in a very high-end kind of TV area, right? At a responsible show with responsible colleagues. First thing they do, these responsible people, is circulate it among themselves to make fun of her. Now
Right.
imagine, compare them to a group of young people. Compare them to a group of people who are maybe not so responsible, who don't hold themselves out as being so responsible. This is a very prevalent problem. Most people at some point are going to be attacked or find themselves harmed on the web, either because of something they've done themselves, inadvertently or carelessly, or because of something that someone has done to them.
I want to be solution oriented, so I'm
Let's
going
do
to
it.
run down these four and then let you come back. How to manage your internet reputation. First, don't post on impulse. Second, think twice before you pose for a photograph.
Yes.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
Research yourself. If there's a problem, fix it right away, and be your own PR firm. Take control of your image. What can you do to help me break down just a few of these?
So the first thing is to turn the internet from a threat into an opportunity, right? You can, instead of being afraid of it, instead of being the victim of the internet, you can turn around and burnish yourself. Make yourself the professional person, and let the world know that you're
Don't
the
lie
professional.
now. Don't do the resume padding
No,
situation.
that's right. And
right.
we wouldn't lie for customers ourselves.
Right.
We shouldn't lie, but you can certainly tell the full story. Remember, the internet is very good at telling the first chapter of the story. The fact that you were arrested, the fact that you didn't get into this college, the fact that someone claimed that you're a thief or that you slept with his or her husband. But, it doesn't tell the other chapter, which is this person's a liar, this person's a scumbag, this person has nothing to do with you, right? So make sure that the whole story of yourself is being told.
And the photograph thing, like the young girls, this is one thing that
Forget it.
scares me.
Terrible.
When you are 14 years old, 15 years old, do not let anybody take a picture of you topless. Because you're going to want to be that little girl, that young girl at that top law school,
Right,
at
that's
that
right.
top medical school.
Well, think of it as a tattoo parlor. Is this picture something that I'm going to want to see about myself in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years?
So if you are dating Roland and you put Roland's name on the small of your back and you're 16 years old, trust and believe by the time you're 32 and want to put that big white dress on,
William will not be happy.
William will not be happy. I want to thank our guest, Michael Furtick, when we come back as our series.